I'm Ethan and this is my wife Kim. Welcome to our house. We're just another skoolie.
Come on. Come on.
Come on, babe.
Show off your home. Come on.
Welcome to the kitchen. Everything in here, for the most part, is custom made. A few of the cabinets were just regular purchase that we got off of Facebook Marketplace. Nice deep sink here so we can hide our dishes if need be. Our faucet, and then we have a separate water tap and just a little soap pump as per usual. And then under the sink we have a 3-stage water filter that filters everything coming in. And then we've got these countertops that we custom made. It is a walnut slab that we started with, cut it down the middle, flipped it in, and then we did this black epoxy pour down the middle. It has a little bit of a pearl to it, so it's got a little bit of shine when the sun hits it. That was one of our bigger projects that was definitely kind of a labor of love, but a fun one. And then we've got this Furrion 3-burner stove and oven. It's small, but it's pretty functional so far. We're pretty happy with it, and that just runs off of propane. And then a little bonus from the countertops is we pulled just from the scraps, we made this knife rack that I routed out, room for magnets in the back, and the knives don't budge while we're driving. And then we've got these tea shelves over here because we have way too much tea as always, but we've got storage for it now. So again, another little bonus from doing the countertops. So our backsplash is a hexagon tile. It's a little textured. It's kind of got a little bit of a glitter to it almost. Kim did all of the grouting and everything with that. That was a project and a half, but it's held up very well so far. We did use, again, flexible grout and mortar for all of that. And then one thing you'll see throughout the bus that I don't think I've seen in any other buses are these window jambs and frames that my dad custom made. He's a carpenter, so he's got all sorts of tricks up his sleeve. I will say they were a pain in the butt, but they turned out wonderfully. It makes the windows stand out a lot more. We did a roof raise. As a result of that, we decided to get rid of all the bus windows just for efficiency's sake. I think we ended up adding 12 RV windows that are just custom framed in there. With the extra 20 inches, we had some room for some bigger windows, so we got a lot more light and better ventilation, but also insulation's sake, they hold up a lot better than the school bus windows. All right, so we did custom make all these upper cabinets. We've got so much storage, and then they're all on struts just so you don't have to worry about holding it or flipping it down and hitting your head. They're pretty convenient, and then all of them have a little light inside of them, which is also on a remote if you want to turn them all on for whatever reason. It's nice to have little backup lighting. And then we do have under cabinet lights as well that are just on a little dimmer here that we still kind of need to wire into an actual switch. We have a pretty standard apartment size fridge. I believe it's 10 cubic feet. Our beer fridge is 5 cubic feet. And then we've got this Toshiba inverter style microwave that supposedly helps with power consumption. Haven't had any issues with it so far, and we're pretty happy with the storage that we have. Spice jars on the fridge that are magnetic. They're made by Nice Spice. We've gotten a lot of questions on those. They seem to hold up really well, and they don't budge when we're driving either. So that was a nice little find. So this is one of 3 skylights on the bus, all of which are on struts so that you can just pop them open. Again, good for ventilation and for bringing in some light. The one in the back, however, is the only one that we have set up for access to the roof deck. I don't know how I'm getting that back down. Forgot I didn't put a handle back on that.
Move,
All for the video.
yeah.
Last but not least, in the kitchen is our pantry. We have 2 just set shelves here, and then we have all of this pull-out storage. But we've got, again, more than enough storage in here to keep just about anything.
We decided to make 2 separate couches that are able to pull together to make a bed. We went with 5-inch foam, which doesn't look the most comfortable, but I promise you it is. So I was going to tackle making our couch cushions myself, but I didn't trust myself to do it. So I have a family friend that made our cushion covers for us, and they actually come off and we can wash them. Up here we have a separate fridge for beer because we are a huge fan of craft beer, and we knew that beer would take up too much real estate in our regular fridge. We also have a projector screen here. There's a few different places that we can hang it. So there's a screw up here, and if it's just the two of us, we can hang out on the couch and watch a movie here. If we have some friends over, we also have a hook back here that we can put it in the kitchen, and then there's another hook in the bedroom too. But it's just this little tiny projector, and it gets the job done. On this side, we have some storage. The main reason is for the dogs. We spoil them, and they have an entire drawer full of treats. And then everyone needs a junk drawer. I shouldn't have opened that. Everyone needs a junk drawer though. So we hide a lot of stuff in there. It's handy to have it up front where we can access it easily. Okay, under this side of the couch, we have more storage for our bigger things like our Instant Pot. And then on this side, we also have a bunch of shoes. Basically anything that we don't want to see all the time, we hide under the couch.
Before we move to the kitchen, this is our other couch, which houses our entire solar setup. So under here, we've got our inverter and our batteries. So we've got 600 amp hours of lithium iron phosphate batteries, a 4,000 watt Ames inverter, a EP Ever battery charge controller, and then we've got 1920 watts of solar panels up on the roof. The solar panels are 24 volt, but we're stepping everything down to 12 volt for the system that we're running currently. Eventually, we may bump it up to a 24 volt system just for better efficiency in storage.
We're the Weiss family. I'm Kim, and this is my husband, Ethan. We do have two giant dogs, Blue and Milo, that live in here with us. But there's plenty of space for all of us, and we love to spend time outside. We love to travel, but we hate to leave our dogs, so now we get the best of both worlds.
Everyone always asks us why we picked this life or how the dogs are going to manage, but they're very large dogs, but they do very well with a small inside space.
They're very lazy, too. So they are awake for maybe like 3 hours out of the day, and the rest of the time they're in their doghouse napping or in the middle of the floor in our way, but we're used to it. Okay, I'm ready. Welcome to our bathroom. Pretty much one of the only projects that I can take credit for. I tiled our entire shower. And then on this half, we have our DIY composting toilet. This step we added just because it's honestly more comfortable when we're going to the bathroom, but also it lifts up for some secret storage. And you can see we use the Kurdi Schluter membrane for waterproofing. And then we have these teak wood tiles on the bottom, nice and comfy for our feet. It's not as cold as tile. We have a shower curtain that we wrap around when we're showering just to extra protect this half. We did use a bunch of polyurethane on the wood over here, so it should be protected, but extra measures. And then we have a Nebia shower head, and it has its wand right here. And then we have our little soap dish holder. So everything we need is right in here, all in one space. On this side of our hallway, we have our closet space. We wanted to make sure we had enough room for all of Ethan's clothes. Kidding, I'm the one with more clothes. But we can fit all of it very nicely. So the top half is all hanging. And then we have these two little drawers for socks and underwear. This side has pretty big drawers. And then the big kahunas are over here. They hold way more than you'd think they would. And we roll everything just to make sure we have as much space as possible.
We are actually only about $20,000 into the build. The bus sat for the first year and a half that we had it, so we had plenty of time to search Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and wherever else we could to find deals on literally just about everything.
Everything. Yeah.
So we saved a lot of money that way. I still can't believe we did what we've done for the price that we did it, but
Yeah.
it's doable if you want to put the effort in.
Oh, yeah.
Spend a lot of time searching. The deals are out there.
Yeah, it's just more work to find them. It would be easier to go and buy everything brand new, but we didn't have the budget for that.
So the main reason that the bus sat for that first year and a half is I was working full-time plus 2 side jobs, and she was working full-time, and we were living about 25-30 minutes away from where the bus was stored, so it was an hour round trip just about to get out to the bus to do anything. And the time that we did have to do anything, we were either needing some like rest or trying to have some sort of resemblance of a life.
Yeah, it was hard. He was working a lot. Like he said, he had a full-time job and 2 side jobs. So I hardly ever got to see him. And I was working long days too. And we were both just, I mean, we were happy with our life, but we were unhappy with like the time that we got to spend together. It just felt like it wasn't enough. So we decided to make it a priority. And this lifestyle, we get to travel together and be together all the time. So much happier. Before I show you the bedroom, I just wanted to point out our map that we plan on using to show everywhere that we've lived, like actually lived, not just driven through. So Pennsylvania is the only one that's scratched off right now, and hopefully we'll get a lot more. But come check out the bedroom. Our bed is a California king because Ethan is super tall and doesn't fit in most normal beds. Also, we like to snuggle with our dogs. So the 4 of us actually fit pretty well up here. Our headboard we made with a bunch of 2x4s that we ripped down. And then some of it is paint, some of it is stain. But it took about a week to create the headboard. And it is the focal point of our whole home because we chose the galley layout so you can see it from the front. We have the cubbies on the side for things like extra sheets and blankets. So in addition to the extra storage on the headboard, we also have cubbies going along the side of the bed. So we each get 4 on each side. They're not too big, but it's enough to hide everything we need. For our lighting, we have these LED strips around the entire bedroom. We added that to kind of just accent the headboard. We also have these lights that we can turn on for extra lighting, and it kind of just gives you a better view of our ceiling. So our ceiling, we decided that we didn't want to try to fit boards together to match the curve of the bus. So we started with Luan plywood. We painted it black, and then we just left about a 1/4 inch gap between all of these boards. And these were just stained with dark walnut. And then our trim on the sides is just the same as the ceiling, and I added some pictures to make it a little more homey. And then our hatch back here is one of the ways we access the roof deck. Because our bed is so high, we can just stand on it and pop right up onto the roof deck. And underneath of our bed, we have a queen size mattress for our dogs. On this side, we have our freshwater tank and then some storage on top of it. But for the most part, this is just the dog house under here.
All right, so welcome to the cockpit area here. We kept some of it stock for the most part, but we did get rid of the big section of switches over here and actually swap that out for a dog food bin. We can fit about 100 pounds of dog food in here for these 2. With these 2, we go through quite a bit of dog food. So we just swapped out the steering wheel the other day, just a little nicer looking. And then we built out the dash here a little bit just for some shelving. And we've got a diesel heater built in through here that both pumps heat back into the back of the bus and also acts as a defroster from down here. And then we've got some more storage here. Hey guys. So with the stairs, we just carried over the luxury vinyl plank flooring down onto the stairs, and then used some angle iron just to make it a little sturdier and to help with waterproofing. The tile along the side is just a stone that comes in the 12x12 sheets, and everything's done with flexible grout and mortar. All right, so last thing inside, up front, right above the windshield, we've got a 12,000 BTU Pioneer inverter mini split system where we have the outdoor unit mounted actually right below me right now. There's just enough space in here where we can get it, and it's still ventilated well enough that we get all the airflow we need. So when we're are able to run that for heat or air conditioning. It heats and cools the bus pretty well, and our solar is able to handle it pretty well as long as we've got some consistent sun. Regards to why we picked this life, the dogs definitely had a factor. So I'm a travel physical therapist, so I'll be picking up job contracts every 3 months or so. And with that in mind, the dogs will obviously be traveling with us, and it's hard to find an apartment that'll let you have 300 pounds worth of dog.
Yeah.
So that's half the battle, but also just not having to move our stuff out of an apartment every time we switch locations and saving a little money along the way. So as you can see on the outside, we have all of our panels mounted up here. We mounted the one on the transition just to kind of keep down the wind from taking the other panels. And then on the back, we've got an 8x12 roof deck that's mainly just for hanging out. And we actually have a propane fire pit that we're able to run up there and have fires on the roof. Up front here, again, we have the condenser unit for the mini split system. And then we got this 10-foot toolbox here. It's not terribly deep, but it does give us a lot of storage for bigger things. We've got our paddle board in there, a farm jack, a few other things. That's where all the extra fluids and stuff for the engine in case we need any of those are stored. In the back here, we've got our water inlet and our 50 amp electric input. We haven't had to use the power inlet yet, but I imagine there will be times when our solar can't 100% keep up with it. So the paint that we did on the bus is actually painted to match our Jeep that we're going to be towing behind us. So it's Anvil Gray. It's just a stock Jeep color. We have a friend that works in the automotive business and was able to get us a pretty good deal on some automotive quality paint. So we've got a nice shiny paint job. So up front we did upgrade all of the headlights to LEDs, just a better output for driving at night. And we also inset these two 42-inch single row light bars. They're a little slimmer, but we were able to tuck them behind the grill just so they're not sticking out as much. But they put off a ton of light if we're off-road or anything like that. Getting around the backcountry is a little safer with that.
So my background is as a nanny. I was doing it for a lot of years. I don't even know how many years. And I don't think that nannying is something that I'm going to do on the road. My main priority is going to be a stay-at-home dog mom because he's going to be actually going into work, so we can't just leave the dogs in the bus all day every day. So I work online as a social media manager, and I also have a Cricut, and a heat press actually. I like to make custom shirts and stickers and decals and all the things. I like to be crafty. We are working on a website. We're going to be justanothernskoolie.com, but we also have an Instagram and a Facebook page at justanotherskoolie. We did it!
All right.
Cheers, and thank you for coming to tour our home.
Yeah, thanks for watching. This is apparently the lookout post.
The big kahuna. I just said that. Why did anyone let me do that? That just came out of my mouth.